And now, making his way to the podcast studio all the way from Sacramento, California, he eats, sleeps, and breathes pro wrestling. He is the best self-proclaimed pro wrestling analyst in the world. Wrestling is still real to him, and he is here to keep good wrestling alive. He is the host of Snug Wrestling Podcast, the one, the only Edgar Avila.
Hello. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, whenever you are listening to this, whatever day you're listening to this, wherever you are. Welcome back again to Snug Wrestling. I am Edgar, your host, like always. And if it's all right with you guys, I would like to get to talking about Friday Night Smackdown that went down today, July 28th, because it was a really good show. But before we can get into all that, please hit me up at Snug Wrestling on all social media platforms. Say hello, say what's up, give me some ratings, write a review, show some love. I would really much appreciate that. So let's jump right to it, because SmackDown jumped right to it too. No foreplay here, not even a little like lubrication or nothing. They just jumped straight to the Bloodline Feud with Jey Uso. And Jey Uso, he gets 2 words in before Roman Reigns comes out and interrupts. And of course, it's Roman Reigns, so the entrance took forever. Before Roman Reigns even got a few words in, they just really took their time with this and really building that anticipation of, oh, what's going to happen here? And the fans were ready for it, and so was I. And Roman Reigns, he starts spitting facts. People like the Usos because of me, Roman Reigns. And when Roman is in the building, he opens up the show. And this was another really good segment with the Bloodline. Jey Uso kind of explained why this match at SummerSlam is going down, just in case for the people watching that don't know what's really going on, but I'm sure mostly all of us do. And Roman says, if Jey, hypothetically, if you were to beat me at SummerSlam, it wouldn't matter because it wouldn't work. Because I would still be Roman Reigns and I can still do whatever I want. If Jey wins, what are you going to do? What's going to happen? And again, more facts, because like I mentioned before, I don't think Jey can take that role. I think Jey can't fill those shoes in that role, in that position that Roman Reigns is. And that's no disrespect to Jey Uso. He's great, but I don't think anyone can fill those shoes at this point because there's only one Roman Reigns. No one else can be in that spot and make it work the way that Roman Reigns does. So I'm going to stand by my prediction here that Roman Reigns is going to win at SummerSlam. Either way, it's going to be fun to see and it's going to be really interesting. And speaking of predictions, I made a couple predictions episodes. If you guys haven't heard them yet, I suggest you guys go check those out because I came up with some crazy predictions. Rey Mysterio versus Santos Escobar. This match was made official last week when Rey Mysterio won the 4-way. Santos Escobar won the previous 4-way, and this is for the #1 contender for the United States Championship at SummerSlam. And the match started off with some technical wrestling, and then Escobar kicks Rey Mysterio. Rey returns the favor with a slap to the face, and here we go. This is where the match started picking up, and things started getting a little heated. For some reason, and I'm not exactly sure why, during this match, not too long after the momentum of the match shifted, because there was an awkward moment, an awkward pause, and the match slowed down tremendously. And you can tell right away that Rey Mysterio was hurt. Escobar, he looked worried, but he was trying to play it off. And there was a lot of talking going on between the 3 people in the ring, which was Rey Mysterio, Escobar, and the referee herself. After the commercial break, the doctors come out to check on Rey, and it was announced that the match got called off. Rey Mysterio can't continue. And according to Michael Cole and the announcers, it was due to the suicide dive that Santos Escobar hit Rey Mysterio, where it looks like Rey Mysterio, when he hit the floor, he bounced his head off the floor. However, you can tell something went wrong with Rey Mysterio before that spot. And I think the people in Gorilla or the officials or whoever was watching in the back called an audible and said, let's just say it was due to that suicide dive. I find that hard to believe because Rey Mysterio has taken a lot of suicide dives, has done a lot of suicide dives. I'm sure he knows what he's doing when it comes to those spots. And like I said before, you can tell something went wrong even before that spot. So Escobar ends up winning this, and he's going to go on to SummerSlam to face Austin Theory. Escobar, he looks upset. He seems like this is not how he wanted to win this. And shit got real because Rey Mysterio, I'm sure Escobar looks up to him, and this was probably a big deal for Escobar. And this is probably not how they had things planned out. So was Escobar supposed to win this match from the beginning? Maybe. As of late, Escobar has been getting a lot of wins, has been looking impressive in these matches, and it looks like WWE is really trying to push Escobar. Or did Escobar win the match unexpectedly because of this injury by Rey Mysterio, and it was last minute decided that Escobar is actually going to be the one to go to SummerSlam? I don't know. I guess we'll find out more later. Bianca Belair, she has an interview, and I'm like, okay, how long before someone interrupts? And the answer is not that long. Not even like 5 seconds later, Bianca Belair gets interrupted by the women's tag team champions Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville. And they said that it's been 11 days since they've been champions and they haven't received a celebration yet, which is kind of confusing because they're the best women's tag team champions ever. And I think I kind of agree with them. The women's tag team champions have just been one of those belts that just been hanging around with little to no importance. But now maybe that they're on Sonya Deville and Chelsea Green, I think they're a good tag team. Maybe they might bring a little bit more interest to that title picture. But anyway, the whole point of this interview is Charlotte Flair and Bianca Belair are going to be teaming up to face the women's tag team champions later on the show. Hit Row is out there trying to cut a promo, and they get interrupted, thankfully, by LA Knight to a big pop plus a promo. Yeah, the fact that it was LA Knight made it even better, but I don't care who it was. As long as someone interrupted Hit Row, then I would be happy. LA Knight comes out and called Top Dollar Uncle Phil, and I can't unsee it now. And LA Knight has a match with one of the members from Hit Row, Ashante. Ashante gets some heat on LA at the beginning of the match with a cheap shot, but as soon as LA gets some offense, the crowd popped, and LA Knight was the babyface in this situation, which was different to see because not that long ago, I'm pretty sure LA Knight was a heel. But LA Knight ends up getting the win here. Nice win by LA Knight. And hopefully this is a start of seeing LA Knight getting more and more wins. Jey Uso runs into Adam Pearce, and Adam Pearce made the match official between Grayson Waller and Jey Uso. I guess I forgot to mention that Jey Uso had a little run-in with Grayson Waller earlier in the show. Grayson Waller tried to invite Jey Uso to the Grayson Waller effect, but called him Lil Jey, which Jey Uso took offense to that and gave him a nice little sweet chin slap across the face. So they're going to have a match at the main event, Grayson Waller versus Jey Uso. Bobby Lashley has another meeting with the Street Profits and also mentions Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes in this segment. Now, there's been a lot of rumors and innuendo going around the internet that this might be a new faction possibly forming with these 5 men. Bobby Lashley, the Street Profits, Trick, and Carmelo Hayes. Very, very likely Carmelo Hayes is scheduled to defend his NXT championship at the Great American Bash. I believe Dragunov is going to win. If Carmelo Hayes loses the match at the Great American Bash, we might be looking at a potential call-up to the main roster for Carmelo Hayes, and maybe the rumors might be true. Bobby Lashley ends up giving some new clothes to the Street Profits, some nicer clothes because champions should dress like champions. And Bobby Lashley, the guy knows how to dress. He's got some fresh style. But I wonder what happened with Shelton Benjamin and the other guy, Alexander Fuck, I can't remember his name. But they were really good. The Hurt Business was really good. But I guess out with the old and in with the new. Bianca and Charlotte versus Sonya and Chelsea. Can these two work well together, Bianca and Charlotte? At least that's the story that's being told here, the situation, because, of course, Charlotte and Bianca are going to be facing each other at SummerSlam, as well as Asuka in the triple threat match. But Charlotte kept tagging herself in, which Bianca did not like too much. Charlotte ended up getting the pin here, and Bianca's mad. Even though they won this match, Bianca and Charlotte won this match, but Bianca is still not happy. Be happy, girl. Be positive. Y'all won. Don't get mad. Get glad. Bayley and Io Sky. And Shotzi is still playing mind games with Bayley. Asuka steps in the picture frame and says something to Io Sky, and I actually understood what they were saying. I understood Japanese. Holy shit, I didn't even know I can speak Japanese. No, I'm kidding. Asuka and Io Sky, they were actually speaking English here, so Asuka warns Io Sky if she even thinks about cashing in the Money in the Bank, that she will regret it. But I think Io Sky is going to do it. She's going to cash in at SummerSlam, hopefully, and hopefully we get Io Sky, the new women's champion. LA Knight again, he steps into Adam Pearce's office. Yeah, how is a highest raising star in WWE not in SummerSlam? And LA Knight wants in the Battle Royale at SummerSlam. So I'm just finding this out, but there's going to be a Battle Royal at SummerSlam that Sheamus also wants in. And it looks like LA Knight and Sheamus are going to have a match next week. Now, hopefully there is no stipulation here where the winner gets in the Battle Royal, because those types of matches usually don't go in LA Knight's favor. So hopefully we get to see LA Knight at SummerSlam. Grayson Waller, he has an interview and he's getting ready for his match versus Jey Uso, and claims that he did not provoke Jey Uso. He was trying to be a good bloke. I love that word. But Jey Uso, he ain't ready for the Grayson Waller effect. And here's some people that we never get to see on TV. Karrion Kross and Carl Anderson. They've been having some beef the past couple weeks. Karrion Kross has been attacking the OC here and there. And the OC finally get to have a chance to get some payback. But unfortunately, that didn't really go as planned, because Karrion Kross made some light work out of one half of probably one of the best tag teams in WWE, the Good Brothers. And while Karrion Kross was beating the shit out of Carl Anderson, he kept saying AJ's name. So he's using Carl Anderson to send AJ Styles a message. So thank you for coming, Carl Anderson. We'll probably see you again in another 5 or 6 months on SmackDown TV. And the main event, Grayson Waller versus Jey Uso. Jey Uso and Grayson Waller are going at it, and this is a 50-50 match, pretty competitive match, but Roman's music hits, and here comes the Tribal Chief. Grayson Waller attacks Jey while he's not paying attention, and the match continues. Throughout the match, every time Grayson Waller would get some offense, he would look over at Roman Reigns for approval, and Roman Reigns would just give him the nod. You know the nod. You know the one I'm talking about. Waller sets up Jey for the people's elbow. I'm telling you guys, man, all these Rocky references, Rocky Johnson, Maivia, I think he's coming. I think The Rock is due for a return, especially with all this going on with the Bloodline, especially with Grayson Waller always talking about The Rock on TV, on social media. I think it's happening, guys. I think he's coming. I think we're going to see The Rock here pretty soon. But the end of the match was great. Jey Uso hits a massive super kick, plus a spear, plus a Uso splash, getting the pin over Grayson Waller 1, 2, 3. And this is actually the first for me that I got to see Grayson Waller in a match from start to finish. I didn't catch his match versus Edge. I might have seen another match here and there, but Grayson Waller, he's pretty good. He reminds me of a Dolph Ziggler, the way that he sells, or the way that he was selling in this match. Grayson Waller got over with me. He made Jey Uso look really good in this, and the way that he was selling, I thought was really great of Grayson Waller. After the match, there's an afterbirth by Solo Sikoa. Jey Uso dodges the Samoan spike, hits Solo with the super kick, then Roman hits the ring, and Jey Uso hits Roman Reigns with the spear. to a big pop by the crowd. Unfortunately, that didn't last too long because Roman and Solo got the better of Jey Uso here, hitting him with a spear and a spike not once but 2 times, leaving Jey on the mat to close up the show. We still got over a week left and we still have at least one more SmackDown left, but this felt like the last show before the pay-per-view. For a second, I thought SummerSlam was this weekend, but it's not. We still got some more TV shows to see before the pay-per-view. Can't wait to see what's going to happen next week. It should be really good because this show, I'm going to give it A++. Tell me what you guys think. Hit me up at Snug Wrestling. Leave a review, leave a comment, drop a like. Hell, send me an email. I got my email address on there. Hit me up on YouTube, anywhere at Snug Wrestling. Thank you guys for listening, and I'll talk to you guys soon.